Hello. Hold on. Thank you. I really need a chapstick. I should probably not put that in the sun. Where do I put it? And my mirror also kind of broke too. But it didn't because it's still not broken. It just now comes out of its little pocket. Unrelated to the story, but always important to me. And that's when something truly is important. When it's important to you. Or to the person that's giving it, because I was gonna say to me, but that is not what we're even moving on. Let's see. So in the last video, we were just about to start talking about the last thing I said in the video that was previous to this was that Mary committed adultery, and thus the karma has definitely imbued itself into my world. However, that is the last thing that I said in the last video, but I also mentioned that it is not necessarily about this because I'm personally not a cheater. I was in a relationship where we did make it open, and then I needed to explore, and I let that person know, and basically we made it open, but I was the only person that explored, and it was one person that I explored with. And yeah, we're just exposing everything because the things that are important need to be said, and my life is nothing to be ashamed of. So that is why I say what I say, and everything is important because like I said, it's karma, so it all makes sense. It all needs to be put together. So then after that, me and this person, we ended up not being together anymore because I felt like it wasn't fair to them. And at the same time, I still really wanted to be with them because I did love them, but it just wasn't right for that to be the case because it was my ex-girlfriend. It was so, and the whole point of the whole point of this story was that I needed to explore and be with not other people. It's just I had never had a sexual relationship with a male before that point, so I didn't even know if that's what I wanted because I knew I liked boys, but I also knew I really liked girls too. And it was not like, oh, do you like this one or the other? Like, I knew I liked both, but I'm like, do I want to be with this person for the rest of my life? Because I feel like one day I'll want kids. And so that was a really big thing that I needed to pay attention to in my life coming out of high school. And so when I say committed adultery, I do not ever mean that I was just like, I'm going to just go and fuck around with people. So I turned the camera on because it was really quiet, and now there are children speaking. Now there's someone sitting at the table over there. Now there's a plane being very loud. And when I hit play before this video, the train was passing by. I think that's hilarious. So why I bring all of that up again is because I was talking about how I was in an open relationship with my best friend's boyfriend. However, it was not going well emotionally. It wasn't going anywhere physically, really. We were just hermits in the same room, and it was just like meh. And then he would be up until 5 a.m. and it was just kind of like playing video games with his best friend on the same bed. And it was just like, you know that you don't want me there, so why won't you say it? You know that I want to be here because I want to be with you. I just wanted something stable at that point in my life because I had just came out of a situation where I could have been with a narcissist, and I would not have actually been with this narcissist either. He would have probably ended up trying to be with someone else, and then he probably would have ended up trying to keep me on the side or something of the sort, because I am like a dark fantasy type of person. Like I get that a lot. I really strike the person's fantasies where it gets real dark. Like, let's just say that between me and my significant other right now, I would love to explore those types of sides, those types of things with him. However, in the past, it has been like I was always a trophy in a way, you know, and that does not sound great when you are actually the trophy. But like when you're not the trophy, you're like, I want to be the trophy wife, or you know, like you think it's nice that people really want to be with you and flaunt you around and stuff. But like then they're not even really flaunting you around. Like it depends on what the situation is. I'm always like the side of life that people want to keep to themselves, and that hurts me because I'm like, I just want to live in the light with everybody else. So that was just something that was a big part of my life where it's just like, why can't we just get past this part? And so bringing my life out of darkness had to come out of me realizing that I was in the darkness. And that came from me realizing, oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. So I'm going to change his name for the sake of the video, but since I've met the real name of the person, I don't want you ever to think in the future that it is this person that I'm talking about. But the person knows who he is, and everybody else knows who he is too. But like I said, he's not a part of like my family or anything like that, so I don't feel like it's a good idea to use his name. And defamation of character is not really defamation of character to me. Like, telling the truth is the truth, but I'm really not trying to like put nobody in nothing that they're not trying to be in. So we're not going to use his real name. We're going to use a twist on his name. So the boy's name is Moses. As soon as I said the name, I was like, everybody knows who I'm talking about. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. So this boy was Moses, and he was he was a cute boy. He was a skinny boy. He was not skinny though. Like, he would work out. And you know, when you're not feeling like the people in your life are giving you, let's just say I've had a lot of frogs in my relationships, and every time that I've always hooked up with somebody, I've always hooked up for a reason. It wasn't like I'm gonna hook up with you. It's like I'm really planning on either making this like a long-term something, or I thought that it would be okay that we would do it like this because I genuinely like your company, like love your company actually. And then, you know, I may have fucked around and fell in love. And, you know, what I did with that, that's on me. And that's perfectly fine because I learned a lot from it. I've scarred myself, but then I learned to move forward from it. And so I'm really glad that this relationship that I'm in right now scarred me, but scarred me in a way where I didn't feel trapped like I did when it was the narcissist. The narcissist, I used to, yeah, man, dang. These stories are so multifaceted that I really have to like pay attention to what we're gonna go into and what we're not gonna go into, and you know, that keeps it authentic. But at the same time, I'm like, dang, that's really important to say, but do I say it right now? So we're gonna, for the sake of it, we're gonna go past that point. And so this boy named Moses was flirting with me a lot. And when I say flirting with me a lot, I do mean flirting with me a lot, because your girl is thick, and she was definitely thick at that time. And our uniforms make it even thicker. And I heard that they used to call me Barney legs, because she thick. And so that was interesting to me. I never wore purple though, so I'm actually really confused about that. Or green. So where is your creativity coming from? And Barney don't even have a big booty. It is just a big thigh. Maybe that is what it is, because I feel like my thighs are bigger than, well, not any, well, shoot, I don't know anymore actually. I have no idea. I know I look great. I realized that in the video, because I just watched the first one that I put up, you can't really hear everything that's happening back there, but I can, and it's really loud. Like, some trains, they're just really loud, and some of them are not. And now there's a plane, it's doubled up. But we're gonna ignore the plane. The plane's not a big deal right now. So, yeah, so we started flirting, and that's that's not really a big deal for me, because I'm not really a person to just be like flirting with people straight up. I'm really not. And on top of that, if I'm with somebody, I'm not looking for someone else. However, if God puts in my face someone else that is showing me more intention, then that is really what, women go through often. They're like, oh, this person is giving me more intention and stuff. But I saw this person for what they were. I knew that I wasn't going to be with them for any way, shape, or form. This person was very immature, emotionally, and just in general. But at the same time, they were striking a chord with what I needed at that point, and it really was just like fun. And I was gonna say happiness, but I think we all just kind of gravitate towards the idea of being able to do whatever you want with your body, with whoever you want, and it being okay. But you were really giving your power away to someone, and you should keep that. So if you can learn a lesson by not doing something with somebody, then choose the latter. Let's be smart about these choices. You can't go through life without learning lessons. But I've learned from every single masculine energy, and there has been so many masculine energies that have been in my life. And I do mean masculine energies because that really, I can't explain it any other way. Like, that is what it is. Masculine energy, because I am the divine feminine. That's how it works. And I've learned so much about what it means to have a man want to protect you. Even if I don't rely on people to protect me, I rely on God. And so even through God, I learned how to be protected by him. I learned more about being safe in my own self. And that was such a powerful power play, to be honest. But when this person came around, this was in the past. Obviously, that's why we're talking about it, because it happened already. He basically was, very not hinting. I'm very straightforward, but when it comes to like certain things like that, I don't like to be the first one to be like, so what are you trying to do? What are you trying to say to me? Because in my mind, I wouldn't say in my mind I'm still in high school, but I thought those rules applied to the real world. If a boy likes a girl and a girl likes a boy, you get together. You have a relationship. You can have sex if you want to, but you are together. But I didn't have sex in high school, so. But I was in a long-term relationship, and I did end up getting back with that boy that I said I was with, but I ended up breaking with him because the cycles had ended and it was time for me to move on. And so, I learned that. But at the same time, once you get into the adult world, I did not realize that like people really just want to sleep with you if they're gonna sleep with you. And it is about reading the energy too. And these people would be upfront about their intentions, but the fact that I am an empath and I can see their heart, that's a whole different issue. And so like I knew when they were lying, and I knew when they wanted more. But at the same time, that didn't change the type of situations that they didn't want to change. My love life now is a lot different. However, it's not very much different from what I just said. So like understanding and being spiritual, you really do have to like separate and put together and put things, like it's not all just like there. Like you have to be cohesive in it, in your understanding of it, more than what is happening right in front of your face. It's like what's happening. Like you really got to understand what's happening. So with this person, I already knew who and what he was. This person, and so that's why I ended up doing it. However, let me finish the story, if I ever finish a story. So this person and I started talking a little bit more, and I was just like, I was still with this other person, the open relationship person, and I was just like, why? Oh yeah, I was gonna cheat on him. I was indeed. I'm not normally the person to even think about that, because if I'm unhappy in a situation, I just leave. Like I'm like, okay, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't like feeling trapped in situations, if like, especially if I'm not supposed to be there. I point out that I'm a Sagittarius a lot because it really does play a lot into what it is that I do. Like, I didn't realize how much of a big deal it is, but it is. And so what happened was God ended up giving that person obligations, so they had to cancel on me 2 times. Oh no, I think they canceled once, and then the second time, it kind of just was like I didn't say anything and he didn't say anything. I don't remember, but like there was no like this is not happening, and it's not like I was dead set on being what's the word? Infidelity. I don't remember what is there a different form of that word? Anyway, but I wasn't planning on actively doing that. But I don't know, in that space and time, it just made sense. And what ended up happening actually was right after it got cut off the second time, I was like, what am I doing? I'm like, I'm not a cheater. I was like, if I'm not happy, then why am I here? Why am I here to be ignored when I could just go home and be ignored? Like, that's different. That's a whole different feeling, you know? And I totally, you know what? That part of the story can go on afterwards. But at this point, the bed bugs had kind of like made their way into his bed, and I don't even know how it happened, because to this day my significant other that I'm with right now, he never got those. He got them on his own on a trip to Disney. I won't tell you nothing. But I already said too much. It was like I said it in spirit, was just like, remember that was confidential. I was like, damn, that sure was. When the truth is actually too truth. But yeah, I won't say anything. But basically, they fixed it. It happened, and then they got rid of it. They didn't get them from me. There we go. Damn. I'm sorry, Georgie. That one was not my intention. Ooh, do not fall. We do not need that. The wind is blowing, which is nice. So this person basically was like, God was just like, all right, this is the step. This is what's happening. And so that same day that I made that decision, I woke up, I threw up, because like I said, my anxiety was going so crazy. Like, my stomach was in turmoils every morning, and so was his. But I think that was something else, and I think that was a lot more negative energy being put into him, and maybe that did get put down onto me because I was an empath, and I really was picking up his energy. Because like I said, I did allow this person to make me feel lonely, but I've always been the type to say, you know, this is how I feel. You know, I've always been the type to communicate something. I'm better at it. I was better at it with my current significant other, but in the past, I'm not trying to be in something I'm not happy with. And if I'm not happy, or if there's something that can easily be fixed in my eyes, I didn't know there was like an underlying everything, even though I could see the underlying, like I could understand it. You get what I mean. Anyway, but like I didn't realize that it wouldn't change in that way, or the way it wouldn't change. It was more like concrete, like this is they're stuck, and it's stuck, like it's stuck, and I could see it, and it was different. But like with my significant other, it's like he's keeping himself stuck. It was different. It's you know, and you do know more, especially in hindsight, and the fact that I'm still saying you know. So then I called in. Oh no, I didn't call in that day. I went into work that day. It was a Sunday. I went in and I went to the chef, and it was the first time I ever really even talked to the dude. And I was so scared. And I was just like, can this be like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. And I was like, but could this be like my last day? And he's like, oh, so you're quitting? And I'm like, and then he smiled, like he was happy that I was quitting. But it was weird. It wasn't like he was saying like, oh, finally we're rid of this girl. It was like he was an angel or something. Like I was afraid of this person's energy or something. I don't think he was naturally a mean person or anything. It's just his face. I think he might have been Italian. I think that's a thing. But genuinely, the smile was like an angel that was looking over me at that time that literally was just like, she finally chose her path. She finally chose to do something else. I knew she wasn't supposed to be here. I knew that she belonged somewhere else, and I'm glad that this happened, and I'm happy for her, because there was really no issue whatsoever, and it didn't seem like a smile that I wouldn't give to someone else either. So that, I quit my job, I quit that one, and so then I was still at me and Ed's, and I ended up leaving him. I got my stuff and dipped. Went to work but dipped, and I didn't never come back, but like, he didn't call, he didn't text or anything like that, and I was confused because I was just like, wouldn't you at least ask me like where I'm at, or like if I'm coming back, or like what's going on, or anything, like some type of concern or question of like, why are you not here, or like, you know, are you leaving me, or are we done, like what nothing, you know. And so I texted him and was just like, you know, like, why didn't you even try, you know, like, why didn't you even try? And that was my main thing. I was just like, I realized in relationships that not everybody, it's been a different, I don't even know how to explain that, so I'm gonna move past it. But, you know, everybody wants somebody to fight for them. And even though talking about the relationship in hindsight, I understood why, but, you know, that was something that really stood out to me in a lot of my relationships, because I wasn't in a relationship, like an open relationship with everybody. Like, usually the person is mine. It doesn't matter how anything happened, they're mine, and I got them through fair and square, and I gave them as much as of my heart that I could possibly give them. So I don't even know. Like, really can't nobody be mad at me. And I think that's why people get mad at me, because when they do get mad, they're like, she really didn't do anything wrong. And I realize my shortcomings, you know? And that's something that really helps me out when I'm going through life. So I'm really happy about that. But I do try not to step on people's feet, but sometimes it's just not that easy to not do that. Being yourself is really is a footstepper, period. So this person, Moses, we actually did end up hooking up, but this was after I left what's his face. I went back home and I had a sleeping bag for a bed. It was his old sleeping bag that in its own turn got attacked by the bed bugs as well. But God made that situation a lot easier for me, because I started like recycling my room. Like, I started throwing stuff out, washing stuff, I started spraying, I started doing vacuums, I started doing everything. If I'm gonna be in that house, we gotta figure something out. And then but I had to move back to my room because I started sleeping on the couch, because I'm like, I'm not going back in there. I was traumatized. And so like, I was working out a lot more. I don't remember if I went to the gym or not, but I was doing Fitness Marshall a lot during that time. I was always a fan of Fitness Marshall, but during that time, that was my workout. Like, that's how I work out primarily when I have the means to do so. It is genuinely Fitness Marshall, because I love dancing. And so I was basically like, that was when I actively started doing self-love, started really paying attention to how I viewed my body, because at first that was really what I was paying attention to. I was just like, I was getting bigger. Like, these pants don't fit the way they're supposed to, and I didn't know that, because my work pants are always tight, so I don't always know. Excuse me, it's not as difficult anymore to find my size, but it definitely was, because I have a smaller waist, big ass, big thighs, and then like, but it's like an hourglass, and then legs. I don't really know. And you know, like, and I'm not super short, or I'm not super tall either, and I don't have, you know, like, my waist doesn't go out with my butt, you know what I mean? I don't really know how to explain that, but y'all know what I mean. And so I was just really focused on myself. And that was the first time that I was so focused on myself that I actually kept up with the workouts. Like, I had worked out for 3 months straight, and basically I was just a lot happier with my body, right? And then I started saying like positive affirmations, and I would say affirmation and leave it at affirmation, but it was mainly like being just empowering towards myself instead of just saying, oh, you're gonna do great today or anything like that. I'd be like, let's just make this a good day. And then that is when I started like praying to God or talking to him. I think that was when I actually started talking to him, and I'd be like, can we make today a good day? Because he started showing me that he wanted to talk to me, and so I just started paying attention. And as I was paying attention, my life really started changing, because all my exes would just say all of my exes, they started coming back like a cycle, like that train. Like it was straight up. It was like they came back, and it was my recent exes, not like high school type of exes, because that cycle was done. I can't really, yeah, because that was after culinary school too. So, and I wasn't really with anybody in culinary. I wasn't with anybody in culinary school at all, really. But I did mess around with one person that I thought that I was gonna like more than I did, and I'm a shallow person. I really am. I always openly admit that to myself, just so that I can, that I can always assess the situation correctly. Like, do you like what that person looks like? You know what I mean? So, and I like what my person looks like. And I believe that that is a very huge indicator of what type of person I want in my life, because he's the only person that I really can't find anything wrong with him. Anything that he thinks is wrong with him is what I've already faced inside myself. So it's really like, I don't really know what to say about that. Like, he's perfect. He is perfect. I am perfect. We are perfect. Dun, 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 dun. That Farmers thing is just, I don't even listen to it. I don't even know why it's like in my head. It's not like I watch commercials all the time, but it's in my head. That's just the way that it is. Use your darkness for light. You are perfect. So with this person, he came back in my life, but I found out he had a girlfriend, and I didn't know that. But I guess they were in an open relationship too, so I guess I didn't need to know that. But I'm the type of person that I really do only plan to mess with one person. If I'm messing with you, I'm messing with you. However, we've already shared this part of the story as to how it happened, and how, like, compromising my own needs changed a lot of how the situation went. I felt ignored. I felt negative. I felt just absolutely terrible. I felt like no one loved me. That was when I started listening to The Weeknd more. That definitely was the time where my depression hit an all-time high, and so that's when the self-love came in, and I was still listening to The Weeknd. I was still going through all the dark emotions. That was when the quantum leap happened, actually. That is when the dark night of the soul happened, to be more specific. I was going through so much emotional turmoil whenever I was by myself, or even not even. Oh yeah, and at work, people tried to act like they wanted to seclude me and act like they're in some type of clique, like we're in high school or something, and leave me out when I am the main event. Excuse you. We're over that part in our lives. They've also apologized, and we're better. It's good to make amends with things, with people and situations. So I'm glad that worked out. But during that time, it was really difficult for me, and I really missed my brother at that time. And he went to this not dog days, devil pups. It's like for like kids who want to be like Marines or Navy or something. He's not gonna be in it anymore, but that's a sore point as well. I'm not trying to bring that up. That's a sore point for him. He really wanted to do that, but that's not God's path for him. So that's been a big twist for him, because he's also a part of my circle of family. They are in the twin flame situation, which is why I know, and is why I feel. And it's not just they are twin flames. They're like probably like second wavers, but my person, we're the first wavers, and that's an issue. It's not an issue, but it's an issue. And So like I was pretty alone a lot of the time, and it really sucked because I really came home to be with my family because I really missed them, and I really missed being, felt like I was in a situation with people that I love. It didn't matter anymore. So I started to appreciate my family a lot more. I started to appreciate my life a lot more. I started to work out a lot more. I definitely was sleeping with people at that time, and my significant other. Okay, that part of the story we're not gonna get too into that because we got 5 minutes and 41 seconds before I have to cut this video off. But all those exes came back, and I did with them what I will. If I didn't want to talk to them, I didn't want to talk to them. But each one of them were important to my growth in some type of way. So like I had an ex-boyfriend who cheated on me in the first week that we were together. We had just gotten together. He cheated on me, and my rule always was, if someone cheats on me and tells me, we got to break up, but we can still be friends, right? But if they don't tell me, we got to break up and we're not cool, right? I've had to compromise that twice. Once for a situation that didn't end up being worth it, and which made me actually pay attention to the fact that you didn't necessarily do it for nothing, because now you know, but you really did forgive that person and they did that to you, and now you don't even know you don't know if you could have just left that person alone, if you didn't even have to go through that relationship. But it is what it is. It already happened. And I was just like, well, we haven't been together for more than a week and you've already done that. But at the same time, I looked at it as, we've only been together for a week and you've already done that. And he waited until he gave me my birthday present, and it was a Zelda shirt that was a little too tight, but it was very revealing because it was a little too tight. He knew what he was doing. But at the same time, I really did look at it as like, we've only been together for a week. And then the type of person he was, it wasn't like he didn't seem like the type to just go around and do that. And he did tell me, and I was like, look, don't do it again. And I was dead ass, because I'm really not the type to just be like in a situation where I'm like, okay, I know you're acting up. So this person, I gave him a second chance, and we dated for like a month, and then at the end I was just like, are you gonna break up with me or not? Like, do it. Like, it's so annoying. If you don't want to be with someone, just tell them. Just let it be, and be honest about it. I've had somebody tell me that they didn't want to be with me, but like they were lying, so that's actually more difficult than is actually said. But like, if you really, if I'm boring you, or you're not interested, or something is happening in your life and you just really feel like this person is not for you because simply you don't want to be with them, not because you're afraid of being with them, that's different. Like, tell them. Don't